Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show here on the WKYC app. We are on the WKYC app every day now from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Then we move over, plus the app, to YouTube as well from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. You can join the chat even on the WKYC app. We'll pull up the QR code in 1 second. Take a picture of that QR code you see on your screen right now and join the chat to keep the conversation going. Speaking of conversations, it is about time we had a conversation on the one, the only Chase DeLauter. He has been annihilating baseballs out in Goodyear for the Cleveland Guardians, and the hype train around Chase DeLauter has exploded. Look at these numbers from spring training, guys. Is that good? None of us are pure baseball seam heads.
That appears to be good, Mike.
That appears to be good. That's a good way to put it, Chris. So the question Earl had for us yesterday, and now we're going to dive into it even further, is Chase DeLauter the Guardians' best homegrown offensive prospect since who? Chris, what's your answer?
This is so hard because obviously it's like Jose Ramirez is a homegrown prospect. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Steven Kwan was a homegrown prospect. To me, he's the best outfield power-hitting prospect. I think I got to go since maybe Manny Ramirez. I'm only discounting Grady Sizemore because they acquired him in a trade. Yes, you could kind of say Grady if he stayed healthy, but Chase, when I watch him play, I think the 24 on the back of his jersey obviously doesn't do him any favors with this comparison, but I just look and I go speed, power, the just overall hitting ability, Manny Ramirez. And I remember when we went down to Columbus last year to do something on him and CJ Kafis, I've told this story a few times, but when athletes aren't wearing their jerseys, warm-ups, or whatever, it's kind of hard to tell who's who. So we're looking around. We're trying to figure out, where's this DeLauter kid we've heard so much about? And I heard a bat hit a ball, and I saw a ball go off the scoreboard in right field, and I said, that's got to be him, and it was. This kid, when he makes contact, you just go, whoa. And I'm drinking the Kool-Aid already. It's not going to do him any service, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm excited to see what this kid has.
So Zach Meisel is the Guardians beat writer for The Athletic. He's one of the best beat writers in all of baseball. He covers the Guardians better than anyone else in town. And he's coming on the show tomorrow, so small plug. But I asked him this exact question. I texted him last night and said, Zach, I am hosting. You know the Guardians 33,000 times better than I do. What is the answer? I'm going to read this word for word from Zach Meisel. The answer is Francisco Lindor. But Lindor was a no-doubt made-in-a-lab type prospect who would have thrived anywhere. If not Lindor, then this is a great question. Good producing, Earl. Jose was always overlooked. I have a cool story about him coming on Thursday, so make sure you check out Zach's story in The Athletic on Thursday. No one thought Sizemore would hit 30 home runs until he did. No one thought Michael Brantley would be an MVP candidate. They traded away Brandon Phillips before he broke out. So the answer, it's got to be Manny Ramirez or Jim Thome. Talk about company for a young Guardians offensive prospect who we have been waiting for, if it's Manny and Thome, decades. That is the kind of hype that Chase DeLauter enters the 2026 season with. The way he swings is unconventional. It is not built in a lab type swing, but it works. And he hit a home run to dead center the other night.
Whew.
It was a 3-1 count, and he hit an off-speed sweeper on the inside corner, 450 dead center. I never pretended to play baseball at a high level. But the baseball nerds I follow on Twitter were talking about his ability to change from sitting fastball to hitting off-speed, turning on it, to the part of the field where he hit it with the depth and the exit velo and the launch angle he hit it with, is the stuff that very few players can do. It is a rare type of offensive potential. And for the sake of my sanity, for the Guardians fans' sanity, and for this show's livelihood, please stay healthy. Please, 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 please.
That's the big question with him. And I know he had a growth spurt late, so I think his body was kind of catching up to him over the last few years. But the other part of that story of us going down to Columbus was, all right, he's going to get the call any day. And then he had an injury and it was out until the playoffs. But, I mean, you said it. He is special. He's got such an ability to hit the ball, not only hit it hard, put it all over the park. And also I want to say I feel very validated that the great Zach Meisel agreed with my take. So I'm riding high today.
Dustin, you going to find a different one?
No, I mean, I agree with Meisel. I mean, I was going to say Lindor. Yep. But not because he's at that caliber yet. Like, he's not there yet. But this dude hits. Mm-hmm. And it potentially solves a problem that we've been looking for a long time, which is having an outfielder in the middle of the lineup that can actually hit the ball. And so with that being said, this could solve a lot of problems for this team if this kid continues to progress and get better and be as productive as he's been so far in spring training. I mean, those numbers are fantastic. We know that, but it's a little bit different when you get to the bigs and you're facing other guys who aren't just out there working on stuff in spring training. This is going to be a different deal when we get down to progressive. If this kid can do it in the bigs, look out.
Earl, you're the one that mentioned Manny Ramirez's name yesterday. Now that you've been validated by Zach Meisel, do you feel even more strongly, in your opinion, that Chase DeLauter has this insane ceiling that could be as high as any Guardians offensive prospect since the turn of the century?
I think as Lil Wayne once said, the sky's the limit. Like, I think his potential is limitless. And for me being a kid growing up in the 90s, watching that version of the Cleveland Indians, of course, everybody on this show knows Manny Ramirez was my favorite player. And I remember the Indians having lineups to where you had multiple guys with the ability to hit 25 to 30 home runs. And so to see a homegrown prospect that has that potential of Manny Ramirez to be able to be this power-hitting slugger, it makes everything about the situation more appealing, right? It puts Jose Ramirez in a better position. Mm-hmm. It just puts everybody in the lineup in a better situation to where you don't have to worry about being pitched around, and it gives you more opportunities to drive in runs yourself. So moves like this and having guys like that in your lineup, plus he's a young dude, right? And young dudes got this level of confidence that's really, really hard to put into words. And that type of energy, I think, is like, it's contagious.
And think of what having a power hitter like that can do to the rest of the Guardians lineup. A, it's protection for Jose. B, it takes a lot of pressure off Kyle Manzardo to be the only protection behind him. You could slide him in with Rhys Hoskins there, who in the past has been a 20-plus home run hitter. The Guardians haven't had a homegrown outfielder, or any outfielder, frankly, hit 20 home runs since Michael Brantley. And I think that was over, was that 2012?
It's a while ago, yeah.
Over a decade. It's been forever. So you slide him in, then you have Quan who gets on base. You pray that either Rocchio or Arias, until Bazana's ready, can be the playoff version of Rocchio, or Arias takes that next step forward. I'm not confident it can happen, but we could hope. And then you have Jose, DeLauter, Manzardo, Hoskins, and Valera when he gets back. Those are all real bats. Like, there's not another situation where the Guardians are going into a game where you look at three hitters and say they basically have 6 automatic outs.
And I want to say this, to play devil's advocate, to take Mike's job, we're
you.
talking so many great things about Chase DeLauter, and I think he's going to potentially live up to all of them. He's still going to be a rookie. This will be his first real time at the major league level.
Yeah.
He's going to have peaks and valleys. That's going to happen. He's probably going to come out hot because pitchers don't know how to attack him. He'll go through the doldrums of pitchers adjust, but then he's got to adjust back. So it's going to be a ride his rookie year, but we've waited so long for a corner outfielder with power,
Yep.
and we finally have one coming up that can be in this lineup, and I just pray to God, do not platoon the young man. Put him out there and just let him go. We don't need 3 guys.
All right, so to piggyback off what Chris just said, how can we put him in a situation to where we can keep this momentum going early? There will be peaks and valleys. I do think the one thing to his benefit is being in the majors doing a Guardians playoff run last year. But we talk about Rhys Hoskins. We talk about Jose. We talk about Manzardo. How can we put him in? Where does he fall in this lineup to where he can maximize where he is right now, and it also creates a situation to where everybody else can kind of like get their money off? I guess I'm asking, with a minute to go, what does 1 through 6 look like early on?
They have a lot of lefty bats, and so I think it depends on who's pitching. They're facing a lefty or a righty, but I would guess you have Jose as a switch hitter, Manzardo's a lefty, Hoskins is a righty, and then DeLauter's a lefty. So some combination, if you trust DeLauter to be your 4 hitter, then you have Hoskins and then Manzardo, so it's not lefty, lefty, righty. You have to be able to switch in between, or if you want to trust the more proven commodity in Manzardo, then maybe DeLauter hits 6th. That's a pretty darn good 3, 4, 5, 6 if it pans out. And one other thing I want to mention on DeLauter, but the Guardians have changed their draft profile that they're looking for the last couple of years. DeLauter's a 6'4", 6'5", big, strong, power-hitting outfielder. They just drafted Jace Lavalette from Texas A&M, who's a 6'6", power-hitting outfielder. Their first-round picks prior to those 2 guys, they're looking for middle infielders, smaller bodies, more contact profiles. They're now drafting for power, so hopefully DeLauter is the first of a many in a long line of the prospect tunnel to get funneled up to the Guardians, so we're not waiting 15 years again for an outfielder to hit 20 dingers.